Good morning, student. Today we will see the chapter number 3, atoms and molecule. In our last lecture, we have discussed about atom and law of chemical combination. There are two laws of chemical combination, and depending on the two law, we have seen also the Dalton's atomic theory. So what are the law of chemical combination? The first law is mass is neither created nor destroyed during the chemical reaction, and the second one is the law of constant proportion, means the atom having relative number is constant everywhere in the molecule, in the compound. If the atoms are combining to form any compound or to form any molecule, then the proportion of that atom is constant everywhere. That is the second law of chemical combination. And depending on these two laws, experimentally Dalton has derived his atomic theory. So depending on that, we will see the first numerical from your textbook, NCERT textbook, from page number 32. The first numerical is here. We will see 5.3 gram of sodium carbonate is reacted with 0.9 gram of ethanoic acid. Then it will give the product 2.2 gram of carbon dioxide and 0.9 gram of water, and again 8.2 gram of sodium acetate. So in this numerical we have to see, we have to calculate, or we have to show if the reaction, either this reaction is following the first law of chemical combination or not. We have to prove mass of reactant is equal to mass of product. Here mass of reactant is given and mass of product is also given. Just we have to calculate, we have to add these masses and we have to calculate it. So what we will do first? First we will take out the mass of reactant by adding 5.3 gram of sodium carbonate and 0.9 gram of ethanoic acid. So combinedly we will get the value 11.3 gram here by adding 5.3 and 0.9. And then here mass of product we will calculate 2.2 gram plus 0.9 gram. It will give 3.1 gram. Again we will add 8.2 gram in it. Then combinedly we will get here 11.3 gram also. And here at left hand side, at the side of reactant also the same mass, and at the product side also is the same mass. From that we can prove the mass of reactant is equal to mass of product, means mass is neither created nor destroyed during this chemical reaction. Means we can say the first law of chemical combination is followed by this reaction, that is proved here. So we will go to our next numerical. The next numerical is depending on the second law of combination, second law of chemical combination of constant proportion. So in that second numerical, what is given here? Hydrogen gas is combined with oxygen to give water. So here proportion is given also. 1 gram of hydrogen, proportion is given in the form of mass. If 1 gram of hydrogen is combined with 8 gram of oxygen, then the water, how much? 9 gram of water we will get here. And what is the proportion of hydrogen and oxygen for this reaction? 1 gram of hydrogen if we have taken, then here 8 gram of oxygen is taken. So if what is the second condition? If the 3 gram of hydrogen is taken, so what will be the mass of oxygen that we have to take here? So we will consider is x gram. So by unitary method we can solve it very well. You know what is the unitary method? If 1 gram of hydrogen is taken, then 8 gram of oxygen is taken. And again, if we will take the 3 gram of hydrogen, then how much gram will be the oxygen we have to take here. So, by unitary method, by cross multiplication, we can take out the value of x. Means what is the value of x? That is the mass of oxygen required in this next proportion. So x is equal to 3 multiplied by 8. So here 3 gram and 8 gram. So here we will get 24 gram of oxygen. Means if we have taken here 3 gram of hydrogen, then we have to take 24 gram of oxygen for the reaction. And what will be the combination here? 3 gram of hydrogen plus 24 gram of oxygen. It will give 27 gram of H2O. Yes. So this is the second law of chemical combination, that is the constant proportion. So in the next question we will see here. What is the next question? Which postulate of Dalton theory is followed by the first law of chemical combination? So, which postulate is followed? The first law of chemical combination, we know very well the second postulate. What is the second postulate? Atom is indivisible and the mass of atom is neither created nor destroyed. That is the first law of chemical combination also, and the second postulate of Dalton theory also. And the next question is, so which postulate of Dalton theory follows the second law of chemical combination of the constant proportion? So the sixth postulate. What is the sixth postulate? The relative number and the kinds of atoms are constant in the given compound. That is the sixth postulate of Dalton's theory, and it follows the second law of constant proportion of chemical combination here. So we have seen here all two numericals and the questions from your NCERT textbook. So in our next topic, we will see the structure of atom in brief and what is an atom. What is an atom? What is an atom? And again, what is the unit for measuring the atomic radius? So what is meant by atomic radius? That also we will discuss here. So what is atom? We know very well atom is the tiniest particle of any matter. Tiniest particle of any matter. We know it very well. I have taken this topic. So from this matter, if we have taken one small particle, still this small particle is consist of millions of tiniest particle. And this tiniest particle is called atom, that you know very well now. So I will give one example. If we will consider here one wall of any building. So this wall is made up of some bricks, you know very well. It is made up of some bricks. This wall is made up of some bricks. Suppose this is one wall. So from this what we can prove? Each and every tiniest particle is the building block of matter. So like that, when we prepare one building or we construct one building, what are first? Initially what we are having? Only walls we are having, and from that wall we will get the rooms, number of rooms. Then from that number of rooms we get whole building, building. And this whole building is made up of wall, and this wall is made up of one basic element, that is brick. One basic element, that is brick. So here we can say this brick is the building block of this whole building. The building block of this whole building. This brick is the basic element or building block of this whole building. And the second example also I can give ant hill. Anywhere have you seen ant hill? This ant hill is made up of sand. It is a heap of sand actually, and it is made up of sand. So what is the basic element? What is the building block of this ant hill? Here one particle of sand is the basic particle or building block of the basic particle or the building block of this whole ant hill. One particle of the sand is the building block of this ant hill. Similarly, in similar manner, we can prove that one tiniest particle of that any matter is the building block of any matter, that is called atom. Means we can define from this how we can define the atom. Atom is a building block of each and every matter. Atom is a building block of each and every matter. Yes? So we have seen what is atom. Now we will see how we can measure the atomic radius. For this we have to see here first what is atomic radius. So what is atom? In common, what is meant by radius? If one circle is there and here one center of this, here is the center of circle, and from this center of circle, the distance from center of circle up to the circumference of the circle, it is called as r. This distance is called the radius of this circle. In similar manner, atom is also having one nucleus at the center. I will take any element. Suppose I have taken a hydrogen element and it's having one nucleus. And suppose if I have taken your carbon nucleus, it's having one nucleus at its center of the structure of atom. I will draw here one gross structure of atomic structure. At the center it is nucleus. Around the nucleus there are some orbits, and along these orbits electrons are revolving around the nucleus, just like the planets are revolving around the sun. Here electrons are revolving along the orbits around the nucleus, and the number of electrons and the whole configuration of the atom define the chemical property of that particular atom. From this atom and its bonding, how the atom bond? The bonding of atom is totally depend on its combined capacity, and the combined capacity of any atom is depending on the number of electrons present and the electronic configuration having each and every atom. This electronic configuration, we can say, define the chemical property of whole atom. And what is the atomic radius? From this nucleus of any atom, the distance from the nucleus up to the outermost shell, this distance is called atomic radius. This distance is called atomic radius. It is atomic radius. And this atomic radius is measured by the unit. It is measured by the unit nanometer. So what is mean by nanometer? Nanometer is 1/10 to the power 9 meter. 1/10 to the power 9 meter equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Means if we divide 1 meter, if we divide 1 meter into 1 billion parts, into 1 billion, can we divide it? Can you imagine 1 meter get divided into 1 billion parts? How much small it may be? You can understand. 10 to the power minus 9 means 1 billion. 1 billion. It is equal to 1 billion. So, we can understand from this how much small is the atomic radius. And here the atomic radius is considered the average atomic radius of the whole atoms present in our universe. Okay, so the atomic radius differs from element to element. It varies from element to element. Means atom different atom के atomic radius different रहेंगे. सबका atomic radius नैनोमीटर सेम नैनोमीटर नहीं रहेगा. जैसे हाइड्रोजन का atomic radius एक डेफिनाइट नैनोमीटर होगा. ऑक्सीजन का एटॉमिक रेडियस एक डेफिनाइट नैनोमीटर में मेजर किया जाएगा. हर एक एटम का एटॉमिक रेडियस डिफरेंट होता है. सो हियर वी हैव सीन what is atom. What is an atom? It is a building block of any matter. And then we have seen the atomic radius. What is atomic radius? And what is the unit to measure atomic radius? It is a nanometer. And what is 1 nanometer? 1 nanometer is equal to 1/10 to the power 9 meter is equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. And it very, very small in measure, that we can understand here very well. So, from that we can understand how much small is the atom. A small single particle of this chalk or sugar or this chalk as well, the small particle is consist of millions of atoms. The small particle is consist of millions of atoms. So that we can't see it by naked eyes, we have to use very powerful microscope for seeing the atoms and for studying the atoms. Our scientists in latter our scientists got success for taking a snap of the surface of the element. Here in our textbook also given one snap. In this snap, it is an image of surface of silicon. इस silicon metal का जो surface है, उसका ये snap है. We can see this snap is taken by the spectrometer. And in this snap, we can see the small thin surface is consist of millions of atoms combined together here. So, millions of atoms combined together to form a thin sheet. If we have taken a sheet having thin like a paper, this paper like thin sheet having millions and millions of atoms binding together. So, here we have seen this topic, what is an atom and what is the unit. Then we will see in our next topic the symbols of atom. To that, thank you.